Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell. Get all those updates. Another Thursday's Thirsty Thoughts, and at the very least, I'm taking a break from the Mount Rushmore stuff. It's been super fun. It's been equal parts fun and excruciatingly difficult because it's only picking four. It's been just so tough. But I'm not saying I won't revisit it. Maybe do like Mount Rushmore of different styles I like or something. But anyway, so I was talking to Billy and I was like, hey, thanks for the idea for Mount Rushmore beers. And then I kind of took in a little bit of my own direction doing the different specific videos with a little bit of different lenses. And so I'm like, yeah, thanks again. If you have any other ideas, let me know. And he shot off two ideas immediately back. And the first was, if you could live next door to any brewery, what would it be? Which brewery? And it got me thinking, which is always fun. I'm a teacher, right? It's like when you can get someone thinking, it's electrifying. It's so exciting, So and I still like learning. So it's like, oh, okay. And I still like thinking, right? So it's like, yeah, like, man, that's a cool question. It really got me going. The other one also got me thinking. This one got me thinking more intensely immediately. So I decided to start with this one. And had a lot of thoughts initially, and was really like debating in my head. And then I settled on, I'm actually going to have two answers. One is if I was to move where the brewery currently is, and the other would be I could move the brewery next door to my house. So one's more of like the brewery and the destination. I would live there, right? Versus just the brewery being next door to where I already live. And I happen to love where I live. And before anyone says, don't you live like next door to Fiden's? Like, isn't that your answer? Fiden's is amazing. But like, I have other thoughts, okay? So some early thoughts I had, Trogs. Love Trogs. Because I had to think for the first, what I'm going to first answer is brewery where I would live next to where the brewery currently is. So Trogs, the brewery I love. They do a bunch of styles. Cause that's the other important thing. Like I need a bunch of styles that I like that's produced there. And they produce so many different styles that I like, so many different beers I like. So I'm like, all right, check. And Hershey Park's right there. So I have like, I'm a huge, sweets fan. And they do they have some newer products I really like from them. And you got the amusement park, which would be rad. So I'm like, man, Trogs is a good thought. Omegang. It's so beautiful there. I used to go about once a year, at least once a year. It's such a beautiful location. The cafe was nice. It's been a long time since I've been there and eaten. They've expanded more. But such good food, such good beers. And they do a good amount of styles I like. Not every style I like, but like they do a ton of beers I do like. And a good amount of styles I like. They're bringing back Belgium Comes to Cooperstown, which I went one year. It was a Bill Murray themed year. It was so much fun. Great beer festival. They get some cool concerts there. So like that was one I considered. Pretty close to me is, actually this is more for the other part. But the one I landed on, I got thinking, I'm like, of course Treehouse comes to mind because they do so many different beers, so many different styles, let alone how they've gotten into like spirits and wine, coffee, a bunch of other stuff. And one of the things I really want to try from them is they're doing absinthe. But anyway, and I was like, man, that their first expanded location is cool. It's very picturesque there. It's chill. I'm like, no. And then I'm like, man, that one I went to in Tewksbury, that was super rad with a golf course. But I'm like, but I'm not a golfer. So like, it was a beautiful location. I went with the Nerd Sense guys. But like, I don't golf. So that would be lost on me. But like, maybe some friends would want to come and like golf or whatever. I don't know. Then I was like, duh. My wife and I love Cape Cod. So if I could live on Cape Cod next to Treehouse, that's got to be my answer for that one. Let's go to just living next to a brewery that I could like move the brewery to my house. This is why I got tripped up because I was thinking local, but like I am super close to Fiden's. That wasn't even in my thought process. But a brewery I've talked about a lot on the channel, and speaking of Treehouse, Artisanal Brew Works up in the Saratoga Springs area. They do have a beautiful location where they have like hiking and stuff, like trails for hiking. Beautiful spot. So like part of me was like, I could like go there, but I already live pretty close to there. So it didn't meet the criteria so much of the first half. But man, talk about doing a bunch of styles I like very well. So like I did entertain them, but I happen to live close enough. So it's like, no, that doesn't make sense for this. But man, one more time, they do not pay me a dime. But one more time, when that new Treehouse location opens in Saratoga, do not sleep on Artisanal. You go up that way, make sure you check them out. They make such good beer, such cool people, beautiful space. Make sure you include them when you go up that way. Then I was thinking of just like breweries I like that make different styles. You know, I'm like, well, Cigar City's got some cool beers. I'm like, I like them. I enjoyed going to the brewery when I was down that way. You know, Ithaca anymore is a little bit further. I like their stuff. They don't do, I like a lot of, I like Flower Power. I like their root beer and ginger beer they make. I'm sure there's, you know, apricot wheat. If I had one, I'd like it again. I haven't had it in a while. I'm like, yeah, but like that doesn't quite hit it. You know, it's like trying to like think, you know, geographically. I'm like, all right, what's like Midwest? Like Bell's is cool. I think soon I'm gonna do a Bell's Black Note. Or actually, you might see this. I might review that before this video even gets released. And I think about it. It's like Bell's I entertained. Like that'd be pretty cool to move Bell's close. They have a lot of cool beer. You know, some of those Chicago breweries, you know, like Hot Butcher, that'd be cool. They make a lot of good beer. And then I was like, man, I really like San Diego. So I got to think about some of the breweries I went to in San Diego. And then I started going a little bit more north. And I was like, ooh, Russian River. Like Russian River would be pretty rad. They make a lot of good beer. And actually thought about Russian River for the other way because my friend Jim lives there. He's one of my best friends. He lives by Russian River. So I almost thought about them for the first half. And I'm like, man, but they don't quite make every style I like. Like I think of like bourbon barrel aged stouts. And I was like, wait, speaking of Jim, he and I went to Sierra Nevada in Chico. And they make basically every style I like. I could move. I haven't been to the one my mom and stepdad did. I haven't been to their second location. But if I could move, because I love that brewery. We ate so well there. It was a beautiful brewery and they make so many good beers. If I could move Sierra Nevada next door to my house, that'd be pretty rad. And I think Billy will like that answer too because it's a California brewery, but I didn't do it on purpose, Billy, I promise. So that's how I divided it up. You guys could just pick one brewery you wish was next door. You could do it where like you would live next door to where its current location is versus you would move it to currently where you live. Again, I just happen to love where I live. So that's why I kind of did it two different ways. But man, Cape Cod, come on. What are your guys' thoughts? As always, give them the comment section below. Let's get those conversations going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. I feel like I'm going to burp. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. And after that, make sure you check me out on Instagram. I keep saying the same thing. How do I end these videos? I swear I've only had this much of this beer. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, remember your outro, dude. Cheers, everyone.